down your questions so that you don't forget. At the end of the day, we can then take them. How many minutes do I have? Okay, we'll start now. It's still odd saying Twitter, so I will, it feels like NEPA saying that they are no longer NEPA, they are now PHCN, whereas it's the same. I currently work as a product manager at Mastercard, looking after digital products for West Africa. Before then, I spent some time at Fair Money, Rent Money. I also led digital transformation at Union Bank, and I was a pioneer member of the team that built Alert. I left Alert as head of products, where I felt that I have contributed my own quota there and moved on to other challenges. But not everything I have done has succeeded, right? So I always like to start with the success story, but not forget to say the other things. My parents wanted me to be a medical doctor, so that's one early failure, right? When your parents have hoped on you that you'll be a doctor. But then looking back, thankfully I was not a doctor. Nobody made it with a show blood. Ended up studying engineering. I don't know how I managed to pass, but I sure came out after 5 years. I can't remember what I learned in school, and I'm being honest. So, wanted me to be a medical doctor. I failed, wrote JAM 2 times. It didn't work out. Eventually found somewhere that gave me a merit list, and then the other list that some of us used to get in. Supplement, you people, that's the one I used to manage to get in. So that's one of my failures. I also dropped out of ICANN. My early days working for a bank, everybody was doing either CFA or ICANN and ACCA. So I just went to register for ICANN. And then being asked to look for money I did not spend, every time trying to say account is not balanced, it was like I prefer to spend money than to look for money and balance account. So it was not going well. I would prefer today, think big, but start small. That's, if you remember anything from our conversation today, let it be that have all the grand ideas, think about how to solve the world's problem and change the world, but start small. Because if you don't, you end up continuing to build. Every now and then you think of one idea. You know, ideas are so easy to come by. No idea is what the toilet tissue is written upon. Everybody has an idea. So as founders, we're always eager to come up with new ideas that we think will change the world. Then you add that idea to your already long list of things you need to build. And then you wake up with another inspiration. You add that idea again. Before you know, you have a very long laundry list. When we were building Alert in 2016, early 2016, we went about different parts of the country. By the way, I forgot to mention that I am here on my own accord, and everything I say here does not represent my current or previous and possibly future employer. Disclaimer. So we went about different parts of the country, trying to asking people, what are the things you hate about your bank? Right? We were trying to do market user research and gather ideas for what we eventually become Alert. It wasn't Alert then, there was no name. The charge was 12 of you that started this thing. Go figure out how to build a digital bank. So we did multiple interviews, user research, different parts of the country, asking people what frustrates you about your bank. I'm sure that if I ask every one of us here, we have something annoying about Nigerian banks. That is network downtime, their card is not failing, is not working, this one is not working, that one is not. So believe me, we had more than we needed, including the most pressing thing, which is the most annoying bank thing, which is account opening form. It used to be account opening form, but it turned to account opening booklet. 8 pages. You will write your name like 4 or 5 times. You sign the same signature. Sign here. Write your date, write dates. Turn to the next page. You know that kind of stuff. So we had a very laundry list of things we need to build. Then the problem was, how do we take all of these annoyances, figure out the most pressing of these annoyances, narrow it down? Nobody said you can't build all of it, oh. But if you want to build all of it, we'll still be building today, we'll not launch. Because you can't, if you solve account opening, you need to solve savings, loan, all of it. You will still be building today. So the challenge was, how do we take this idea and narrow it down to the smallest part of it that we can launch almost now? And that's my challenge to you, founders, or people in this ecosystem. You're trying to solve Lagos traffic, for example. Instead of solving the traffic problem for the entire Lagos state, solve it for Yanapaja. Right? Focus on solving the traffic problem on Lekki Ekpe Express Road first. Because if you solve that one, you would take learning from it and replicate it for second roundabouts, replicate it for Abule Egba, But if you want to solve for the entire Lagos, Jesus will come, for those who believe, go, come again, go, and you still be building. So my message for you today is think big, have all the beautiful ideas, but start small. If many of us in this room were the founders of Facebook, we'll still be building Facebook today because it's not yet perfect. Do you understand? Whatever your big idea is, I'm not against it. I'm in full support of you and your idea. But find a way to narrow it down to what is the 1 or 2 problems, not even more than that. What is 1 or 2 problems that I can solve right now for people that need this problem solved right now? I started writing a book for a product management book in 2017 or 18. 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 6 years later, I've not passed the introduction stage. Because as you are defining outline, there's something else you want to add. There's something else you want to add. Until I woke up one day and told myself, you preach MVP, right? You preach MVP. So what's the MVP for this book that you can do? I took the whole outline that I had, narrowed it down into simple, easy to read, 120-something pages, slide presentation format, like it's written in baby's English. Over a week or 2, that was done. Uploaded it on Gumroad. It's free for everybody. But then I started getting feedback, and people even went as far as paying money for what I said. This is free, don't pay me. Just enter your email and download a copy and read it. Remember that it took me 6 years while I was still writing it. And another idea will come, I'll continue writing it, I'll add the idea. And then over a weekend or 2, I said, hey, what is the best, what's the minimum I can do for this? There were just very few diagrams, no pages, full of words, very basic, yet 3,500 people, over 3,500 people have downloaded that book, with 99% giving it 5-star rating. I will still be writing it now if I didn't practice MVP. So go back to your idea, your project, your startup. What is the simplest version of your product that will solve the most pressing? Remember, not all your users are a problem, because you're not Jollof, you can't please everybody. Ask yourself, what is the simplest version of my product that would solve 1 or 2, not even more than that? What is this is an example is you want to build a startup that will handle cross-border payments between Naira and all the 50+ currencies in Africa, right? Instead of working on a way to build a startup that would handle cross-border payments for 50 plus currencies, solve between Nigeria and Ghanaian cedis. Right? That's the most basic MVP. Take Naira and Ghanaian cedis, solve that one first. Then you can solve Naira and Zimbabwean dollar second. Just instead of focusing on, I want to solve all the problem Africans has on cross-border payments. Are you following me? So ask yourself, what is the most pressing problem I can solve for my users? One or two, nothing more than that. Remember, you cannot please everybody. You're not jollof rice. So pick one or two, the most basic, that will solve the most pressing problem for your users, and you're good to go. You want to solve problem of education, right? Online education. Pick one base. If it's maths, pick that side and solve. Because by the time you want to solve maths, social civic education, solve English language, solve this one, that one, you will still be building forever. And that's the problem, one of the problems with people building software products. It's easy to add another line of code, right? Because it's easy to add another line of code, you will just say, let's add it. Your MVP should be solving just one or two problems that are the most pressing. Not every problem. Today, if you go to Alert app, you can trade your dollar to Naira, right? You can exchange your USD to Naira. But we didn't launch with that. In fact, when we launched May 2nd, 2017, on the web version of the app, the only thing you can do is to sign up. Once you sign up, then you see a banner saying, download the mobile app to continue. And the funny thing is that the founders who find it difficult to build MVP, people like you, are the ones that are very accommodating to people building, or other people building MVP. Many founders that I know are very comfortable using products that are not exactly, it's not fully done. Many of us in this room have the confidence and, is it confidence? Maybe confidence, to pull up our phone, download an app that says beta version, that you are still they are still building this in. You're okay to try it, right? So why do you think your own users will not be okay to try your own MVP? So ask yourself, what is the most simplest one or two problems the most pressing that I can solve for my potential users? The message here is launch. There's how far you can go with user research. The real user research is, this is my product, try it. That's the real research. When you ask people on the interview, are you willing to try a product that will do X, Y, Z? And normally people will say yes, so that you just get off their phone, right? Just like Jehovah's Witness, once they knock, even if you're not a Christian, I say, please, where are you? We are Christians, thank you. We just came back from church. The real test is when you carry your product and tell somebody, take. That's the real user research. So, and founders are very, very comfortable trying other people's MVP. So why do you think users cannot try your own MVP? The message here is launch. Again, like I said, your MVP, one of the challenges we had was narrowing down what could be, is this MVP enough, or is this overly skeletal? Again, focus on solving the most pressing need. One or two of it is fine. If you're, what's his name, this YC co-founder, I think Michael, he was giving an analogy that your MVP should be solving a problem like, if your hair is on fire, your hair is actually burning, you won't want to check the brand of shampoo. You don't care, right? All you need is to take this fire off your hair. That's the kind of problem your MVP should be focusing on. There is pain. If my back is paining me like I can't stand up, I will not check whether it's made by Emzor or it's made by Just give me something. That's the kind of problem your MVP should be solving. If you're building a fintech app, there is one or two problems that your users need the most. You can later be adding should the interface be yellow or purple? You know those kind of small problems that you are using to distract yourself. That's not a problem. You are just using it to distract yourself. Should the login spin round or should it load vertical? You are just trying to disturb yourself from doing the actual. The actual thing is, hey, get into the market. That's the real research. So ask yourself, what is the most pressing problem? You know, basically there are two types of problems that all products solve: painkillers and vitamins. I have my vitamins on the table, my work table, and my work table is such in a position where immediately I come out of my bedroom, I'm seeing work. It was intentional so that you don't even need to think of stretching or anything. You are just landing onto your workstation. So the way I positioned it, as I'm getting out of my room, is directly onto my workstation, and my laptop is always open so that it's not like I want to go and plug it. And right there on that table, I put my vitamins there so that I can easily take it every day. You know the problem? I've not opened it. You know why? It's not a pressing problem. It's like it's not a painkiller. It's not if my neck was paining me, nobody will remind me. Your MVP should be solving that kind of problem. Like, this is it. Not, some other problems that are nice to have. Are you following me? So what is the painkiller problem that your MVP is solving? Not vitamins. Not all the nice to solve, it's okay if we add it kind of problem. For example, if you're building a fintech app, and this is from what our research said back then, the thing that frustrated people the most about banking was account opening. There was about 95 fields in the average account opening form. Is there anybody here, if you raise your hand if you like to fill form? So that's a very big, that's a painkiller. Not should my debit card be yellow design or black design. You know that one is basically vitamins. What you want is a card that is working, not the color of the card. So card design for your fintech is under the category of vitamins. But painkillers, can somebody just sign up as easily as he opens a WhatsApp account? Or can somebody sign up as easily as he opens a Facebook account? Now, the thing I have preached so far is that you should launch by figuring out what is the one or two problems that my users, like this is really pressing to my users. One or two, nothing more. What is the one or two most pressing problems that my MVP should be focusing on, and then go ahead and build it as quickly as possible. It should be functional, at least the thing if you say it's going to allow users login, it should at least log in. So it should be functional. It should be reliable, so that whatever it said it's going to do, it will do it, but it might not have all the bells and whistles and it might not be all fanciful and beautiful everywhere, but it should be reliable. It should be usable. Like, I expect it to fail. In fact, most of us trying new things expect that it will, work. But you're comfortable trying it. That's the way you need to see your MVP. As long as it's working, fairly reliable, usable. Remember, your hair is burning. That's the problem you are solving. Users can retry. If I get my hair is burning, that's the problem your product is trying to solve for me, to extinguish that fire. If it doesn't work, I'll spray again before I finally give up. So users basically expect that it should be reliable, but if it is not, we'll retry. And then it should be usable, and it's going to be desirable if you have focused on one or two painkiller problems. If you focus on vitamins, like the nice to solve problems, it will not be desirable. Again, picture your hair is burning. All you need is to put out that fire. You won't have time to look for, is this ionized or oxidized water. What you need is extinguish this thing. I just need water. So that's the kind of problem your MVP should be solving. And it should be minimum. Viable means, it's doing the thing, it's solving something. It should be minimum and viable at the same time. So again, the message here is launch. Whatever your problem you are building, launch. That's the real user research. Every other one is you're just making PowerPoints, and nobody buys PowerPoints. Your users are not interested in PowerPoints. They want problems to their solution. Or, Abi, the other way. They want solutions to their problems. The message again, launch. So how do you know? We said MVP is, a product that has the smallest set of features, just enough features. Just enough. There are many other things that consciously it does not have, but it has just enough to solve the problem of your users. So how do you know if this product, if this thing you have designed has just enough features? There's one way to know. Think of removing. Now, when you are removing, let's say you have 15 features, remove one and ask yourself, will this still be functional? Will it still be usable? If yes, remove another one. As you're removing it, you will arrive at the bare bone. Remember when I told you when we were building, we had like laundry list of frustrations from the people said, this is what they don't like about it. It was so many. It was so many. It was before COVID, before all this work from home and virtual thing. It was so many, we created a board where we called parking lot. What we're using parking lot to do is any idea that we get, we park it here. Because we can't build everything. And then you select one or two that you should be focusing on. And you're not saying no to the other ideas, though. Remember, somebody suggests, we want this thing to look like this and do like this and sing national anthem. No problem. You take it, put it there into your parking lot. You get all the ideas you need. Gather all the ideas you need. But then keep removing from the ideas. If I remove this, let's say you want to build an e-commerce platform. You want to have users buy every damn thing on the surface of the planet. Start by selling. Amazon started by selling just books. Today they call it the everything store, right? You can buy a car on Amazon, like a full car. But they started with selling books, then CD, then different things. You want to build an e-commerce platform. Start with one basic thing. Start with one basic mode of payment. How many of us have tried to sign up on some app? You see like 15 sign-up options. Sign up with Google, sign up with Facebook, sign up with your email, sign up with this one, sign up with this one. It becomes confusing, right? If this is you building and you want to get to the market quick, just put one sign-up option. Sign up with. When we launched, right, OTP was failing. We designed it in such a way that you put your BVN and then we authenticate it by sending you OTP. We were comfortable knowing that there will be sometimes the OTP will not go through. There will be sometimes the mobile number we are sending OTP because it's on your BVN, you no longer use it. Some people signed up on BVN using their mother's phone number then because maybe you don't have a phone then. All of this will be clear to you that you cannot solve all the problems with your MVP, but you are solving one or two critical problems. If you're building an e-commerce platform, for example, there is pay with card, there's pay with transfer, there's pay with pay stack, there's pay with this one, there's pay with that one. Just build one that is working. Pay with one thing. Just give users option to pay. You will add the other 15 other or 25 other options later. But if you wait to add all of those things, you will never launch. The message here is launch. If you're building your MVP, always think, what will I remove from this and this product will still be useful? When Facebook launched, it was for your campus specific. Today they are saying they are connecting the whole world. Mark wasn't connecting the world. It was allowing you in your campus to see who is in your school, connect to your campus people. You can see one or two, see the activity. They belong to this, party. They go to this conference. But it was school specific. There was no news feed. You don't have stories. You don't have marketplace. It was just strictly you and your university. But today, Facebook is used by over 2 billion people, right? But it started with campus specific. If some of us were building Facebook, we will still be building it today. Because you wanted to connect everybody, add this one, add marketplace, then you copy something from Twitter, you put it, copy from Instagram, you add it. At the end of the day, you want it to be, Google search, you want it to do everything. You will still be building today. What is the smallest version of your product that you can just put into the market? What it does is that people will start to try your products, and then you see where they are struggling with. And if you listen to them through what they will say, through where they get stuck, because if you have built your product, you will see where people just drop off. Maybe during sign up, they always stop at step 4. Then you know you need to optimize step 4. But you can't know that unless you launch. Actual MVP is the real user research. You have all the beautiful ideas, but trim it down and asking yourself, what is the smallest version of this idea that I can just launch this weekend? Again, my message is launch. If you have an iPhone 13, 14 here, you know how beautiful that machine is, right? 3 cameras, sleek stuff. The RAM is, before you even put your face, it's already on lock. But the first iPhone was basically 2G. I mean, if you still use 2G here, you know how that thing is? You people can't recall. Our first phone, it was like you press the phone, you go and buy beans. It's still coming up. You literally have patience by default. Today, people get frustrated because, the iPhone took 0.2 milliseconds to open. It wasn't that way before. There would always be room for you to improve. So launch the most basic you can send out as quickly as possible. There were things. iPhone didn't even launch with option for you to make video. And if you were old enough, you bought either Triumph or what do they call it, and there was a phone that time, NEC. There was Sagem. We all bought these things. The camera was shit. It was bad. But we bought it because they made it. If they didn't make it and they're waiting to make a phone that is bigger than iPhone 14, they will still not launch. The message here is launch. I like this quote a lot, whether it's in products or in life, the art of being wise is knowing what to ignore. There's a strict slang that no be every dog way back you go throw stone. You understand? No be every dog way back at you go throw stone. No be every idea way come your mind you go build. Some of them note it down and put it at the parking lot. I will get to you later. There is, must be done. There is nice to be done. There is, if we have time, we will do. Always think of, what can I remove? Because we complicate life by adding. We complicate our lives by adding. I think it was Buddha who said that he who has the richest is not he who has more, but he who has fewer desires. At the end of the day, you should, whether it's in product or in life, what can I remove? And I will still be all right. That's why the guys that preach the gospel of minimalism basically just give out most of their stuff. Because if you are like the average person, you don't wear up to, there's somebody like me, if any of my shirts gets to me this period, you will die there. There's, I don't know if it happens to you people, there's 1 or 2 clothes that you wear until somebody comes to take it away from you. You don't need most things. And your users will not use all the features you think you need to add. For the most part, just like you wear maybe less than 20% of your clothes, your users will use less than 20 or roughly 20% of all the beautiful things you think you want to add. Nobody wants a product that is a microwave, that is a fridge, is an iron, is a projector, is a laptop, all in one. Nobody. People want to solve one problem or the other with just one product or the other. So don't think that your product needs to have all the features before people will use them. How many of us here in this room, before you downloaded an app, Google the app, Google the rivals, Google like 2 or 3 rivals, opened the Excel sheet, started tabulating it. This one has 5 features, 4 features. This one has 7 features, 5 features. I'll go with the one with 15 features. Who does that? But then as a founder, you think your product needs to compete by having the most features. No, your product needs to compete by solving 1 or 2 problems absolutely well. Nobody wants a refrigerator that is a microwave, that is a TV, projector, iron. No, it's confusing. The message here is launch. So the question is, how long should my MVP take? If you can build it in a weekend, that's how long it should take. Not a weekend and 1 day. Again, most times we think we need all the features and everything so that people will. Nobody, no user compares number of features before using a product. And we all use that so we can check with ourselves. If your product can be built over this weekend, and that could be just a landing page. A founder of Gumroad, and I think you should read that article, My Failure to Build a Unicorn, Sahil Lavinga. He was employee number 2 at Pinterest. Yeah, Lavinga. Sahil, S-H-I-L. Lavinga. If you're on Twitter, I think he's still, no, he's no longer pinned on this. But the title, Sahil Lavinga. My failure to build a unicorn, a $1 billion company, yeah. You should Google, you should read the article. Essentially, he was employee number 2 at Pinterest. He wanted to leave Pinterest and build the most amazing thing, his own thing and all of that. And his focus was, I want to build a unicorn. I want to build the biggest company. He started building Gumroad. And he wants to build the biggest thing. And then he realized that at the end of the day, your users don't care if you're a unicorn or not. Your users care that you solve their own problem. If you can be a unicorn, you can be whatever con, agbado or anything. Just, are you solving my problem? So, as a founder, your focus should be, am I solving the 1 or 2 most pressing problem for my user? And can I do it over the weekend? And that's where I mentioned Sahil's proposition. He basically said, I'm going to take this weekend out and build the most basic MVP or prototype for the idea I have. This weekend, if you're thinking of building an education tech company, you want to have an Android app, iOS app, web app, why not just do a landing page this evening? Why not just do a landing page this evening? And then tell your friends to, try this and give me your views. Do you know people sell books that they've not written? They call it wait list. Yeah. That's the name they call it, wait list. That's the MVP, right? Yeah. I'm going to write a very good thriller novel. In the meantime, pay first for the book. And this is the link. That's all. That's MVP. And if people pay well, there is a need for, you say that I need to double down on this. The best part of MVP is that if it fails, you have not spent so much. There's no point running when you're on the wrong road. That's what MVP basically lets you, try it. If you know what, nobody died. Tomorrow is still Saturday. The message here is launch. Recapping, if you want to build an MVP, founders usually have very big ideas They want to change the world and solve the world's problem. And the best approach, in my opinion, is for you to, one, be clear on who you're solving for. You are not Apostle Paul. You can't please everybody. Or rather, you are not jollof rice. You cannot appeal to everybody. Even jollof rice, some people, they beef jollof. Right? You can't solve for every. Once I hear the total addressable market for Nigeria is 200 million, and we are targeting 200 million people. Oh, God, please. How are you targeting 200 million Nigerians? You will appeal to nobody if you're appealing to everybody. You cannot be all things to all men. You just have to appeal. Yesterday, my wife was asking me if I knew so person or the other person. And these are really big people. I don't know shit about them. Right? Because they are appealing to her set of needs. The people in fashion. So, me, I don't know anybody in fashion or anything. I just want to wear clothes. It's not my audience, right? So I don't need to know them. But my audience, I know them. So you can't solve for everybody. You need to know one or two. Clearly, this is who I'm solving for. You can't solve for women. Because, they are women, they are different people. You can't solve for women. That's too broad. You need to solve for women who are these nursing mothers, stay-at-home mom, or this. Or women, young girls, getting into their teenage years, early school days, less than 30, 35, lives, basic, the narrower, the better. And the very good thing, the best part about being so narrow is that if you appeal to those people, the other people will want to come in and see what is happening to these people that are feeling so good about you. So define your audience. Be very clear on who you are solving for. You can't be solving for 35-year-olds. 35-year-olds who love Premier League and live in Nigeria is more specific than 35-year-olds because there are many 35-year-olds who don't even watch football. So be very clear on who you are solving for. And then, what is not all their problem. You've defined who you're solving for. Not all their problem, but what are one or two, their most pressing problem, most pressing. Now, again, gather all your ideas that you think you can have. Ask people for all the ideas. Gather all of them, then start trimming, start removing. Remember we said think subtraction. Apple went from selling us earpiece that is long to selling us something we put in our ear. And we are paying more for the one that they've removed the rope. Do you understand? The one that was longer, they spent more resources to put the rope together. We put it in our part. It's less expensive than the one that we just chook inside here. Chook here. Your money, 100K don't go. How much do you people buy it? So think subtraction instead of addition. There is always time for you to add later. I hope you know. Nobody is saying don't have big ideas. Narrow it down so much so that you can basically get it out this weekend, or next weekend, or next 2 weeks, or next month. What it does is the real users will use it like that. And there's, again, if you think you have finished trimming your MVP that is very narrow, trim it some more. Because as founders, you get to fall in love with your products, so much so that it becomes like your life. If somebody said remove this product, this feature is not important, you feel like it's attacking you. Stephen King says, kill your darlings. Remember to kill things that are important to you. He was obviously referring to words and writing. When you write, start removing how much. I think, I can't remember who said, if I had enough time, I would have written a shorter letter. Do you understand that? If I had enough time, my letter to you would have been shorter. Because it's more difficult to remove than to add. So trim. And then very important, set a launch date. Do you know what happens when you tell people, I'm launching May 1st? Yeah? You will launch May 1st. If you want to lose weight, tell the whole world. I currently weigh 90. I want to weigh, no, not me. But he that is in me is greater than what you are saying. I currently weigh 90. I want to get to 75 by December 7th. A friend of mine say he sees that I write regularly online. So he said he wanted to start writing regularly online. I said, Isaac, if you're serious about it, put some skin in the game. Put some skin in the game. He said he wanted to write one article every week for 3 months. I said, okay, no problem. Put some skin in the game. Set start date and end date. And then I think we arrived at 15K per article. And then we multiplied it by 12 articles, and he sent me the money. The agreement is if you don't publish an article every week for the next 3 months, that's 12 articles, I'm going to take your money and send it to a charity. Of your own charity is not my charity. It's not that I won't spend your money. Pick your charity, Little Saints Orphanage or whatever. Just pick your church, anything, mosque. Pick your own charity. Set a clear goal, and the end goal. Put some skin in the game. You will do it. So set a launch date for your MVP. Announce it to the whole world. Commit, if you're serious, put 1 million naira of your own money, not company money, of your own money. Give it to a charity and say, if I don't meet this target, you people should use my money to buy small chops or do anything you want. You will meet that target. True or yes? We had to launch on May 2nd, 2017, which was the 70th anniversary of Wema Bank. Right? We were living in the office. No, I'm not joking. Like, we were living in the office, out of choice. Nobody said you should stay. But you know the launch date is May 2nd, 2017. You can go and party. But we are launching May 2nd, 2017. People basically stayed in the office by their own choosing. Later on, it was upgraded to, better facility. There were toilets and rooms to sleep. There were none. We were lying down on the table. And when you wake up in the morning, if you are careful, nice enough, you go downstairs and brush your teeth so that you don't kill your neighbor. But we were practically there knowing that we need to launch May 2nd. If you are serious about launching your MVP, set a date, put some skin in the game. I bet you will launch. And this is one of my favorite quotes. If you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. Reid Hoffman is the chairman and co-founder of LinkedIn. If somebody like this can be saying it, it's me and you that want to launch a perfect product. If you're not ashamed of the things you said some years back, it means you haven't learned anything or you didn't say anything. You will definitely make mistakes. The only thing I have tried to tell you today is launch. Thank you. Thank you. So questions, yeah?
So I'm going to take 3 questions before you go ahead. I'm sure that was 1, 2, and 3. All right, so that's all.
Okay, who's going first? It's fine.
So, I'm a marketer, and all I was able to pull some amazing marketing things. So, over time, I did my research. I figured that brands and organizations, they like event marketing because it's a very unique marketing strategy that directly brings the audience closer to the brand with fun and entertainment activities. So, I love that part. And people always launch. I don't think I need any technical, physical products to do that. So, in my own situation, what do I need to launch? How do I need to?
Okay. The things I took a similar MVP session, I think in June. Yeah, in June, for a different set of founders. Their own topic involved building and launching an MVP. And I basically said to them, there are 3 things you don't need to launch. You don't need a hall at a hotel. You don't need to print T-shirts. And you don't need small chops. Launching is basic. Launching can be anything. Launching means telling your users or potential users, you have this problem, I have this solution. People launch with a tweet. Mark Zuckerberg was just launching Thread with tweets. It will come to Twitter, the rival, and announce that we are launching Thread, the other side. So launching does not have to be one big bang event. Launching can be multiple small launches. There's no rule that you have to launch once and everybody will go home. You can launch this evening. Next week, you add another thing, you relaunch it again. There are people who did not see the first launch, they will see the second one. There are people who saw the first, they want the second. You don't need a big bang to launch. Your launch can be waitlist. Facebook launched by, in fact, when you launch with waitlist, for example, people start to, I want to get onto that waitlist. It starts to look like something important. So, yes, there is place for big bang, but if you're not selling Milo and chocolates and even if you're selling those, right, you can launch on the streets and then launch again. If you have the marketing budget, by all means, go big. If you have Coca-Cola's budget or Barbie's budget, go big. But if you don't have Barbie's budget, you can launch by voice. WhatsApp status is launch activity. All the major religions in the world spread by word of mouth. That's launch. Launch. Tell your neighbor to tell your neighbor to tell another neighbor. I hope that answers your question.
Just like this. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for this. I think one takeaway for me is subtraction. Actually, we're building a health tech e-commerce platform for medical devices and first aid products. Okay. For now, we have about 10 first aid products and 2 medical devices in our store. We have an online store, But from what you said, I think what we can do is, and you think it will be okay, we just use one of the first aid products and one of the medical devices. One of the medical devices is the first aid kit, our own brand, and the first aid products, like hydrogen peroxide or iodine or something like that, yes, But then what data, the feedback, should we measure to be sure that we've gotten the MVP?
Okay.
Are you getting my point? You can picture something like a Jumia or Konga, but
for medical line.
Yes, niche market for, But that's what's coming to my mind. What data, what back end should we be looking at? Yeah, but should we be tracking to say, yes, we can now, Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your question, and good luck with your product.
Thanks a lot.
There are different things you can track. I will just give some ideas, right? You can track how many people even get to land on your page or your website. So when you track how many people arrive on your website, that's first start. It means people are beginning to hear it. Now, from that arriving on your website, how many of, let's say 10 people arrive on your website today, how many of those 10 goes to check out, click on one of your products? Let's say 4 successfully click on your products. How many of those 4 added it to their cart? For the people that added it to their cart, how many actually went ahead to make payments, even if it's just attempted payments and then they canceled it because they might be testing, right? Your users might just be trying it out. Should I do so? Check. You can track things like how many people land on your website in a particular day. How many of them, if you have a sign up, how many of them actually sign up? If you don't have a sign up, just straight up order. How many people clicked 1 or 2 items? And from there, those that clicked it, how many people added it to their carts, or how many people attempted to make payments, how many people attempted to check out? But the first thing is that you need to drive people to that website. That's the first thing you need to check. How many people successfully land on here? Because if they don't come to your website, they can't buy. Yes, and I would suggest, if it's possible, make like an A/B, you can make like an A/B testing. So you have a website where you place all your items, to the middle of the website. Or another one, you place the items to the right of the website and see where people click more. How A/B testing, right? You can just design 2 versions of your website. And you show one version to different people. There are technologies with which you can do that with ease. You show another design of the website to another people. If you check Netflix, you will see the same movie having different cover title. They want to, it's the same movie, they want to see the one that people like more. So in your own case now, your website might be, let's say you put plenty pictures of your product, or the other one you describe what the product do with less picture, and just see the one people buy more. But you should definitely be tracking how many people come to your website, how many people click on a product, how many added it to their carts, how many people attempted to check out and things like that. But we can talk much.
From your experience, which payment option should we go for if this is
Okay, I don't have much context who you're targeting, whether it's hospitals or individuals and the rest of them. Essentially, people want to give you money. Nigeria, from my experience, what has worked the most in e-commerce and logistics is cash on delivery. I don't recommend it because you can deliver something and somebody say, I don't want it. You brought it in yellow nylon. I don't like yellow. You know, always push that people pay ahead, right? So it may be a card, pay with Paystack. You know, people will enter their card and make payments, and then you can deliver. But what has worked most for e-commerce in Nigeria is pay on delivery. I don't recommend it.
as easy and simple as possible?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon.
Hello.
Okay, so like I'm working on a prop tech startup.
Property tech.
So yeah. So my question is, you know, we're talking about building an MVP, which I've adopted that ideology, you understand, because I've read books on that. Especially there's a book called The Lean Startup, which really talks about that.
It's our Bible.
Yeah, so I really incorporated that in my team. So the only issue I'm finding difficult is that sometimes the team might not be able to like really have that ideology, because me, I like working with speed and I like putting like a time, and they'll be like, oh, I'm like stressing them out sometimes, you understand? So how do I like give that balance? Because me, I'm trying to move fast, but sometimes I can't move without the whole team needs to move, you understand? So how do I like get them on board sometimes? So that is it.
Difficult one. First thing, very difficult one, and I would say this, are they contractors, right? Because if they are contractors that you pay them by time, people will drag their legs, right? If there are people building for you, you pay them per time, you know, X amount for an hour, they will drag their leg. If you finish this, you get paid. People tend to move faster that way. So I don't know the contract you have with them, but make sure that the contract is in such a way they are incentivized to launch. It could be a launch bonus, right? It could be that if we meet this deadline, there will be a house party for everybody. You like vodka, Abi, you will collect one bottle. You like this one, you will collect this. People do, water always flow to the path of least resistance. So make sure that their own motivation is tilted towards launch. If your contract says, I'll pay you, you know, for every hour you work, people will extend that work to longer period because they want to be paid more. So find a means to tie incentive to the launch, whether it's a bonus, whether it's stock option, whether it's cash gift, whether it's anything, but you need to tie incentives to launch. One of the ways that work best is that way. Another way is to also make your agreement to be in such a way that they are not paid per hour. They might be paid by, you know, delivery. You know, so the more they deliver, it's neither this nor that. I need more context, but make sure you incentivize people to launch, because if their own gain is in launching, they will launch.
Okay. First of all, it's a great presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I actually agree with the whole ideology of
Bots.
launching. Yeah, okay. So the problem is, like, if you are trying to create an innovative product, something that's innovative,
Yeah.
like intellectual property and the likes, and then you don't have much money, and then you bring it out. A lot of people are ready to attack it. A lot of big companies that have, like, they can just give you one of their products, stuff to
And just turn it.
So that's the problem with this kind of thing, where they just see you, they like it, and they don't have to buy you anything. They just feel that they can do it on their own. Like
They will replicate
the way Zuckerberg was looking at Twitter and saying, I don't like what's going on here, and they just created
Replicate.
threat. So that's the problem with, I think that's the problem with this.
Great a great point. All I will say is that every startup can become a feature. Google can make your entire startup a feature. So don't worry about what does not exist yet. We die in our imagination than in real life. Whatever it is, if you think people will copy it because it's simple, no. Big companies will ignore you because it's off their radar. You are too small to bother them until they wake up and realize that you are now big. But if you want to go that very big, they can, see, every startup in this company, in this world, almost any early stage startup can become a free feature in Google. The entire Zoom as a company is a free product on Google Meet. Microsoft offers Microsoft Teams, the entire company of Zoom, for free if you are using Microsoft Enterprise Solutions or as an individual account. So don't worry about things people will always copy you, right? Do you think there was Amazon before Jumia? Right? Yeah. There will always be Konga. There will be another person that will wake up one day and say, I'm doing this. People will copy you. In fact, that's the highest form of praise, that you're good enough that people are attempting to copy you. If you see a product idea that nobody wants to touch, my brother, leave. Because it's so bad that nobody wants to even follow you to drag that space. So people will copy you. In fact, the best part of building an MVP is that you will go off the radar while you are building yourself up gradually. Remember, Mark wanted to buy Snapchat. Snapchat said, we are not selling. Mark introduced status, WhatsApp status and Instagram status or Facebook status. People will always copy you. Don't worry. People will copy you. The only thing is, can you do it well enough that people actually like your own part of things? Some of us go to places that are more expensive just because we like maybe the sales girl. Do you understand? People will always copy you. There is no new idea that you can come up with that nobody has ever seen and nobody will be able to copy. The only thing people find difficult to copy is excellent customer service. Excellent customer service is the most difficult thing to copy. If you think you can do free card delivery, another company will wake up and do 2 free card deliveries. Don't ever compete on things that you have no control over, like price, like feature. It's okay to do a good feature, right? But don't worry yourself. If you're good enough, people will copy you. Unless you don't want to be good enough.
All right. Thank you for the session so far. I think it's been really insightful. So I think my concern with MVP right now, because right now we have so many software products, so many options, and I'm starting to feel like the bar for minimum is increasing with each year. So a friend of mine wanted to build an expense management service to help you with budgeting, and I did all the research. Okay, he says, okay, he just wants to launch with one very, very small set of features. So he does the budgeting side. But there are apps that already do that and more.
And many more.
So he has to keep increasing the number of features he's adding, and that's how he spent over a year building something he wanted to do in a month. So it feels like the bar for minimum keeps getting higher with innovation, with new technology and all of that. So how do we create that balance right now? Because competition is very, very serious.
One of the the first thing is that you cannot outbuild with number of features. I keep saying it. No user actually, and we are all users of different products. No user sits down to do a features comparison before they use your product. In fact, the best budgeting tool I have seen and used, and I have tried many, the best budgeting tool I have seen and used is Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel. My wife and I budget meticulously, year in year, month after month. Like, we budget meticulously. But we use 2 things, Microsoft Excel and Apple Notes. Basically, budgeting is I want to know how much I'm receiving, how much is going to where, and if I will have any balance at the end of the month. You don't need, if you want to add all the features in the world, you'll never launch. And there almost no budgeting expense software can beat Excel. My advice would be launch. If you think you don't have enough features to stand out, as long as users can see what is coming in, that's what allocates money to certain places, do income minus outflow, and see the balance. That's budgeting. As long as your feature can do that, please launch and support your MVP with exceptional customer service. Support it with prompt response. So, do you think when people flock into some of these Nigerian banks, is because every bank sells savings and current accounts, right? But then people say, I don't like this bank. It's this bank that I like. There's one or two non-tangible, non-features related ways you can distinguish yourself. Whether it's prompt response, whether it's, better customer service essentially. But you cannot. There are companies that are 5, 7 years or more old in the expense management field. Do you want to outbuild them with features? So just make sure let's say your expense management is for young, early stage working people. You're not targeting businesses. Find how you craft a message that appeals to these people and focus on them first. If you want to focus on, let me have all the features in the world, you will never launch, and you will never be able to beat all the people that take it as full-time job with many developers that you cannot even hire.
All right. So I think those are all the questions we can take. So thank you so much, Nnamdi.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Okay, so we are moving on to the pitches. We have 2 startups pitching, Eastplan and Stellas Gaming. So here are the rules. You have 5 minutes to pitch your startup. After 5 minutes, I'll stop you. And then we take 4 questions for each person that is pitching. To control this, I'm going to share a link or a QR code that you can just scan, send your questions here as they are talking, so that we are not talking over each other. And if you have a follow-up question, sorry, you cannot follow up. Just keep the follow-up question. You can meet whoever pitches after when we are done. So Clinton, you're going first. Eastplan. So come on. You don't need your laptop actually. Okay. Yeah. So let's. No. Come on. Eastplan Clinton. Yeah. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Kekenta Clinton. I'm a software engineer by profession, and I attended Federal Polytechnic Nekede Owerri.
So you can speak up so that everyone hears you.
Where I studied computer science. Okay, I said my name is Kekenta Clinton. I'm a software engineer by profession, and I studied computer science at Federal Polytechnic Nekede Owerri. So I'm the founder and CEO of Eastplan. So Eastplan is a platform that helps users to connect with event service providers that matches their budgets. Let's say, for example, someone has an event he wants to plan. For example, a bride has an event to plan. So it's very difficult for her to find the perfect event service provider, probably a DJ, a caterer, that matches her budget. They will struggle through going through calls of service providers, maybe that are above their budget, or maybe probably the ones that are busy already at the time of their event. So all of this can take a lot of time, which probably might affect their event at the end of the day. So also, on the side of service providers, they are also struggling with recovering money from, let's say, I deliver a service as a caterer to someone, and the person, after the event, the person keeps telling me, come today, come tomorrow, let me talk with my wife and all. So these are challenges that service providers face, and also spending time and energy communicating with users or customers that are below their budget and all. So Eastplan aims to solve all of this problem. Sorry.
Second board.
Okay. It's not. Okay, so Eastplan tends to solve this problem by building a platform that is accessible in the whole of Africa, where everyone can connect with service provider that matches their budget. Also, quality assurance. Eastplan makes it possible for you to see service providers, see reviews and ratings from other customers before you actually know if they meet your standard for delivering a service at your event. Payment security. Let's say, for example, I hire a service provider and it doesn't deliver the service our agreement, or maybe it delivers the service that is below the quality we agreed on. So Eastplan gives you an opportunity to request refund for the payment you have made for those services. Next slide. So at Eastplan, we aim to build a marketplace for event service providers where everyone can go to and hire the service providers that they need for their event. This is how Eastplan works. Simply, as a user or a service provider, you just sign up and then get onboarded on the platform. The onboarding simply means giving us some details about your company, and then maybe if you're a user, details about you, and then maybe your state and all. So then you proceed as a service provider to verify your account by providing us with some government-issued IDs and then a live video of yourself, so we can get to know you better. Then the next step is to get hired or hire someone. So once you have gone through the onboarding process and verified on our platform, you stand the chance of being hired or hiring someone on the platform. So this is a screenshot of our product. So the first screenshot is a screenshot of a service provider's profile on our platform. So this second one is a screenshot of a service provider's account that has a request from someone and is asking if he's available for the gig. So he's free to either decline or view details of the gig to accept. So this is also the desktop view. So our platform is actually mobile responsive and desktop responsive. Next slide. So this is the market size for the product we are building. So the entire event, the global market size for the event industry is 1.25 trillion. And then for Nigeria alone is 20 billion. So currently, at Eastplan, we are currently trying to get 10% of the market shares within the time frame of 5 years. So that is, which is 2 billion naira. Next slide. So for our business model, we operate on a commission-based model where for each transaction that goes on our platform, let's say if someone hires a service provider on our platform and pays, so we take 10% from the service provider for connecting him or her to a client. Next slide. So this is our traction. We launched Eastplan on the 10th of July, and since then, this is the traction, the metrics for our active users currently. So we're able to onboard about 80 service providers on our platform, and few users also. Go ahead. So these are our indirect competitors for the services we are rendering. So we have Cvent, we have Event Planner, and we have Oga Venue. Oga Venue is supposed to be one of our indirect competitors, but I added them there because we also helped individuals to get venues that also matches their budget, so which Oga Venue also does. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. So this is our customer acquisition strategy. So so far we have been using, these are the strategies that we have employed at Eastplan to bring customers to our platform. First is digital marketing. We use digital marketing campaigns, social media, influencing marketing to get users on our platform. We are also employing referral programs where people refer their friends to our platform and then get a commission. We also have content marketing where we create content, video tutorials that are targeted on the event industry so which will also help us to attract people to our platform. We also host monthly Twitter spaces speaking on various topics that are event related to teach people and our audience about the strategies they need to know as an event planner or a service provider. So this also helps us to bring more people to sign up on our platform. We also have the ambassadorship program, which we'll be launching by next month. So where we have college students, university students join our ambassadorship program who are passionate about the event industry to help us to get users also on our platform. So we are currently looking for investors to invest on our products. So we are seeking 1.20 million naira for 20% equity in our product. So, and this amount we are requesting, this is how we are going to split the amount to help in the company's growth. So first, we're going to split 70% into the marketing, 20% into product, because at the moment we don't have a mobile app ready. So we are looking for funding to get the mobile app developed. So then the 10% of the money will be going into operation administration, which has to do with some internal operations and paying staffs and other expenses that may incur, like maybe paying for hosting services and all. Go ahead. So this is our product roadmap. So in this year, we've been able to get some customers. We have also started generating revenues, and we also have new features we have also added since we launched. So in 2014, we also plan to continue acquiring more users, generating more revenues, and we need to develop a mobile application. By 2026, we also need to continue acquiring more users, then extend to other African countries like Kenya and Ghana, also to help improve our revenue and then improve our user experience. So this is the team for Eastplan. We have other team members, but these are the founding team members. So I am my co-founder. So for me, I'm a back-end developer with 4 years of experience, while my co-founder is a front-end developer with 5 years of experience. So thank you.
Okay, so that was exactly 5 minutes. We are going to, I'm going to put up the QR code, but how many people have questions? 1, 2, okay. Let's start with you. You have 3 questions. Let's start with you.
Yeah, fantastic presentation. I think that you wanted for the product. I have a question though. You said you need $24,000 to roll out a mobile app.
No.
Is that 1.2 million? 20% of it.
It's not just.
$240,000.
It's not just for the mobile app. We are going to pay. We don't have, like I said, for the team, we have only, for the development team, we have only me, I and my co-founder who built the platform that is ready now.
Yeah.
So we need to get other software developers, so that's also included there.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So 20% is $240,000. So I assumed another 10% of that whole cost can be your mobile app cost. My question now is that you're a back-end engineer.
Yeah.
4 years, and you have a front-end engineer 5 years. Why can't you roll out a mobile app?
So I'm not a mobile developer, right?
Yes, so, but, okay, so my question is more of, like, in the whole spirit of MVP and being resourceful, right?
Okay.
I don't know if you can write Flutter, I don't know, but.
I don't, yeah.
Okay, so why do you need money to roll out a mobile app?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So for now, we built the web version to validate our product, first of all, to get users to start using the product. And then because I and my co-founder, we are not experienced in mobile development, we need to get someone to do that. And then also, we need to get extra hands also because there are a lot of features we have in place that we need to add to our platform. So we need to also hire developers to also assist us in getting those features ready. That's why we have that amount for the development of the mobile platform.
Okay, I think you had a question.
Okay, I like the product, very, very nice. So my first question is like, what is the UPS? What's the unique selling point behind this? What do you think, what makes you stand out? 'Cause I'm sure there are other event management or planning platform. What do you think makes you stand out?
Okay, first of all, we are not an event planning platform. We are also an event management platform. We are like a bridge between event planners, service providers, and users, right? So when a user wants a service provider, our platform helps, our algorithm helps you to match you with someone that matches your budget. Let's say you have a budget of 500,000 naira for a DJ. So instead of maybe calling or going through calling a lot of people to ask, maybe asking your friends, do you know someone, a DJ that charges 500,000 naira for to deliver a service? So our platform just allows you to put in that budget, and our algorithm fetches someone that matches the budget. So that's what we are doing.
Okay. I think someone else had a question.
Thank you once again. Like, my question is very precise. Like, what exact problem are you trying to solve? Because I'm into event marketing, and I don't think, like, I'm going to be very honest, like, people care about getting things done. And I don't think, like, a software app for now is what you exactly need. I feel you need, like, the people that will actually use the product first. You need to understand the fact that people, I want to organize an event, right, as a brand. Do I need to download an app to pass through all those process when I can actually do that by placing calls? It says, okay, my friend, maybe in the company doing a DJ. You understand? I understand there are a couple of event planning organizations that I can actually even outsource it if I can't do it in-house. So what exact problem are you trying to solve exactly?
Okay, like you mentioned now, putting calls. How many people will you call to get someone that matches your budget in a day? Maybe let's say you have an event for next week, right? So it might end up maybe the person you're even calling, hi, how sure are you that this person really has the experience? So a friend might, maybe, for example, you might ask me now as your friend, I need a DJ. I might recommend a friend that I just started DJ maybe 2 months ago because he's my friend, right? You don't have any proof. You don't have any way to know if this person has been in the business for a very long time or not. So our platform now has a reviews and rating system where the users that, let's say, a service provider has rendered services to can come and then keep reviews. Maybe this person did a good job or he didn't do a good job, and also rate the services that this person has delivered. So that way, once someone, let's say for example, now your friend wants a DJ and you use their Eastplan profile and send to your friend, he can see the details about this person, the events he has delivered for other clients, and the reviews from those services he has delivered. So that helps you now to make an informed decision whether to hire this person or not.
You know, that is really work in terms of operation. It's much more than digital. It's really work, operation work. It's more of a field work. So, like, what are you doing in terms of that?
How? Like,
really work, like, trying to know the best DJ, the cheapest DJ, the cheapest contractors, caterers, you understand?
you are not, like I said earlier, you are not knowing, like there's a way, this is how our app works, right? You come on the platform, you put in the state where you want the service provider, maybe probably the city also if you want to filter more, right? And put in a budget. The algorithm automatically gets someone that matches that, but just the, okay, let me bring it this way. We are bringing the Bolt and Uber experience to event planning. This is just how it works, right? So no Uber, you just put in where you're going to and they connect you to the driver that is closer to you. So this is exactly what we are doing. You are not manually going through all of these people. But we're bringing this profile to help you to, this person that is recommended to you by your algorithm, you have the profile where you can look at, the same way you look at your Uber driver and check, okay, when did this person started using Uber, and know whether to cancel the ride or to continue with the ride. So this is what we are trying to solve.
So I just wanted to say a few things as a feedback, because I know from your background, you have, from technology software, but what you are really solving is more of a professional problem, not a technology problem. And you need to look at it from a professional perspective. Because you're saying you have just 8 vendors in the platform.
No, I didn't say 8, but I said we have 50 vendors already.
Okay, 50 vendors. And you're talking about building mobile app. I think you probably should have about 200.
Yeah, like I said
I'm
earlier,
coming.
okay, thank you, sorry.
So what I'm trying to, the feedback I'm giving you, it might be wrong, it might be right, but what I'm trying to say is, I think you should spend more resources on operations, sales, and marketing than trying to hire another mobile app developer. Like, it's very critical because you need to have as much people as possible. Because if you have 50, there are so many activity services around events. So 50, what categorization are you going to put them? That 50 is in camera. You have just for maybe 5 camera people or 5 people cooking and all that. That's still quite scanty. So there has to be a lot of footwork. You and your team needs to get out there and onboard as much people before even thinking about mobile app.
Okay, okay, so like what I showed you here, the mobile app I showed you is like a roadmap. It's not even this year. I think that was if you can bring up this thing again. So that's like a projection of where we are heading to, right? It's not like something we are doing now. Currently, we are still marketing the product, right? We are not building a mobile app tomorrow, or next year, right? Probably we need to have the web version, which people are already using, right? So we are saying that once we have, the projection now is like once we have enough users, right, we can bring the mobile app then, so that it will be easier for someone to just like bring out the phone and then book a service provider, other than like maybe going online to type our website and then doing that.
Okay. Nice one. So I'm also a founder, right? So I'm just going to give like just feedbacks, right? So first of all, I do not think you need $1.2 million for what you are working on now, right? Again, I'm looking at it from MVP, all right? I do not think you need $1.2 million for all those things that you had stated. What I would just say is, I think you should have a bit more patience with yourself and with what you are working on so that you can learn, right? Because eventually, this thing that you are saying that you are working on now might not really be the thing that you would eventually, build on that will make you grow at scale, right? So give yourself the allowance to learn, as you are doing what you are doing, just allow yourself to learn in that process, and, you will get some more insight as you are going. Then secondly is, I do not know if because you also talked about hosting services that you want to pay for it. There are so many programs right now that you do not need to pay for any hosting service per se. Like my startup, we are in Microsoft for Startups program. We have up to $150,000 in Azure credits. Means that we do not need to spend any money at all hosting any of our services, apart from maybe just small services like the ones we have on Namecheap, right? There's still AWS, programs that you can, plug into if that is your infrastructure. You understand? So I think that you should just, and then looking at what you pitch right now, I can't really pinpoint who your primary customer is because I do not know who you are going to be charging that transaction fees from. So what I'm just saying is just allow yourself to learn, right? You might figure it out in 2 years, might figure it out next year, might figure it out in 3 years, but have that patience to learn.
I think we just take one more question.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a bit interested in the refund part, right? So my understanding of the description of your product is you stand as the middleman, you connect customers to, people that can render certain services at the events. So I'm going to use I'm going to give 2 illustrations. One is the DJ you mentioned, and maybe an events planner, right? So I come on the app, I give you my budget. The app recommends a DJ. I go ahead with the DJ. Now, the DJ comes to my events, plays at my events, and then goes back home. And then I come back to your app to tell you, oh, this person did not perform to my satisfaction. I want a refund. Now, how do you determine what proper performance or optimal performance is? Is it that the DJ did not play the appropriate songs, or the kind of songs he played were not the kind that the client would have wanted? Or then the second illustration will be, okay, so let's say it's an events planner now. Then the events planner comes. My budget for my event is, for the events planner is 50K. The event planner comes, designs this hall for me, puts in the materials and everything that 50K can afford. And after the event, the customer comes back and says, oh, I'm not impressed by this events planner. I can see what he or she did for so and so. I'm not impressed. Please, can I get a refund? And then the event planner says, oh, but all you paid is 50K. The service I gave you is a service of 50K. So how do you determine that services have not been fully rendered or that services have been rendered? Then how do you now deal with the issue of refund? Thank you.
Okay. So thank you so much for that question. So like I said earlier, once you feel the service is not rendered to your satisfaction, So you can dispute the event, right? And our team will look into it and know if your reasons for disputing the event is enough for us to issue you a refund or not. So that's how it works.
Okay. So someone online is volunteering to build a mobile app, Abi? Yeah, someone online is volunteering to build a mobile app for you. So you can go check the comment section,
okay,
and maybe reach out to the person. So for the sake of equality, I'll take only one question from this side. You're not anywhere. Okay, just one question. And then
Thank you very much. So I don't know so much about startups. This is my first time here, but I have a question that he talked about, and I'm coming at it from someone that maps our user journeys, right? How are you able to test the eligibility of a service provider? How are you going to say that, oh, this person is a good DJ? Because is it that you're going to go and meet this person and she play for you, or you're going to say, okay, is it all, technological? Is it all, I don't know, look at his profile? Because at the end of the day, you're dealing with people, and their judgments are going to be subjective. It's going to be, okay, this person plays the song that I like, and this person does not play the song that I like. So how are you able to know that this person is truly a professional before connecting their services to your users?
Okay. Okay, thank you so much for that question. Like I said earlier, once these service providers wants to get onboarded on our platform, they go through some screening, through the onboarding process first of all, and then through some verifications. And mind you, we are not just giving you money because we just linked you with this person, right? The money is still on the platform. So that's why even if you're not, you decide to maybe lie during your onboarding process, and this person finds out at the end of the day that you didn't deliver a quality service because you're not experienced enough, right? And disputes the event, our team will still look into that and then discover that you weren't experienced enough to be on our platform, and you went ahead to do that. And they will not give you this money, we will still refund the money back to. Okay.
You mentioned that a way to know this is people giving reviews, right? It is easy to say that my friends are going to get 20 people to give me good reviews.
Okay, so the reviews now is not like you just come to someone's profile and give a review. It's after a service has been delivered. You can go to that particular event. No, I'm coming. You can go to that particular event. Let's say, for example, now, I book him, right? There's an event created for the services for me and him that I'll deliver to him, right? He can only give reviews once. After he has made the whole payment, right? For that particular services, he can give reviews once and rate once. He can't go back to that particular event to rate or give reviews anymore. So it's not just like maybe going online, see my profile, and then click, rate me, or give reviews about me.
So what I'm saying, it's still very possible to have this, because I can say my budget is 500K, and I'm going to get a list of suggestions, and I see my friend, I'm going to select him.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't get you.
So you're saying that it is not like you are going to take a profile that you have to be suggested by your budget and everything. Is that correct?
No. Yeah, come again, sorry.
If I want to get a DJ for a budget of 500K, right, I'll have to input it in your system. I'll have to say, okay, I need this person, and your system will suggest to me DJs that are eligible to this period, this budget. Is that correct?
Yeah, no. This is like, I said, both experience to event planning is giving you one person that matches your budget.
Giving you just one person?
Yeah, because, this recommendation is coming based on the ratings, like the same way both recommends drivers based on their ratings and their reviews. That's how it works also.
All right, so I think those are all the questions you can take for him. When we are done, you can always meet him. He's still around, so you meet him, and you can have more discussions about that. So thank you.
All right, thank you.
So the next speech is for the gamers in the house.
Hi everybody, my name is Nnamdi Azodo. So I finished from computer science. University of Ibadan. So after I'm not a tech bro, but so after I finished NYSC, I drifted away from tech. I went to finance, trading, stocks, and everything like that. Drifted totally away from tech. So something happened in October of last year that made me to just say I have to go back to tech. Came back, crawling back to tech. So I decided to go into game tech because I looked at so much opportunities in game tech, and I decided to discover Stellas gaming. You can't. Okay. Oh, so. Okay.
So you can, like, just raise your voice so everyone can
Okay, okay. So I decided to have this Stellas gaming. Something happened in October, so I pivoted away from finance. I went back to tech. But
Sorry, so
after
let's reduce the side conversation so that
after I learned a lot in finance. So please next. Okay. So Stellas gaming is about playing with purpose, one game at a time with Stellas gaming. Okay. So all right, as I said, I saw that there's so much opportunity in gaming because there's lack in so many areas, but especially in educational games. So many mobile games are purely for entertainment and do not promote any educational value or real skills. So the whole point of games is to be addictive, obviously, because it's like games, that's what's called to gaming. It's not like sweet, I mean, it's supposed to be sweet, or social media, like, it's supposed to be addictive. So, but most of the games we have, they are not really, when we look back at them, they are not really educative, or you don't look like there are so many skills we don't have. So, especially when I go to Google Play and I look at the games that are there, I don't like it. So, that was one of the reasons why I decided to attack this in this industry and say this is a fantastic industry to do. So also, a problem is with the gaming also is many people have seen the opportunity, but there's extreme. Some people are just to the education, they don't care about the engaging gameplay. Some people are to the engaging, they don't care about the education, which is the case. So obviously, a key challenge is that with so many games, so many competitive stuff like social media and everything, it's very hard to scale in this industry. So Stellas gaming is about educational games, as I said, to teach players responsible members of society. And then, but for now, I'm into mobile gaming. Though I have many plans if things go well, like video games. Video games are the one I'm good at, but mobile games is the one that is feasible right now. And I currently have a game in production. A programmer is doing that. So all my games are innovative, unique game designs. They enjoy games that are different from others. For example, the one I'm doing now, like I was asking him, is like innovative game. Nobody has done it before. So this is according to Newzo, that's the #1 data source for gaming in the world. This is for last year. This is the total addressable market for gaming, $192.9 billion. Because Stellas Gaming is actually a global company. So I'm not coming to tell you that I'm creating games for African market or anything. It's global. So mobile games take 50% of it, 91.8 billion. That was last year, but it actually decreased from the lockdown. After the lockdown, during the lockdown, most people were gaming. They were at home. They were, everything stay at home. But obviously, as people started coming out of the lockdown in 2022, we had people going back to work. And
sorry, let me stop you. Can we hear him properly? Yes.
Sorry.
So just slow down.
Okay. So mobile games take 50% of the total addressable market. It's the biggest share of market share of the whole market, 91.8 billion, and that's where I'm going into. Though as Stellas Gaming continue to evolve, we are going to go into console games and PC games. So the browser games are like. So now this is demographics and the regional markets, where we have the Asia Pacific and then especially the US. In terms of revenue, we talk about in terms of revenue because Stellas Gaming is a financial company. It's not we are here to make money and also create games that empower people. So we can see Europe 18% and Africa too is growing, as I will say in the next slide. The African gaming market is expected to top 1 billion in 2024. So a lot of people have year-on-year decline in growth. Africa is actually going up. So one of the reasons why I'm pointing this out is that I just actually wrote a book about gaming. So I've sent it to the Amazon and they're going to approve it very soon. By tomorrow it should be out. So when I was researching for the book and like I noticed that African like the game sector is not there at all, and definitely so there are need for games, especially for cultural games. But if you look at Japan, one of the ways they are able to export their culture is through games, and I feel that Africa you can do it, and there's nobody that is doing it in Africa. So that's why I did. Before now, I didn't really care until I saw this. That wow, a lot of Africans are beginning to, especially last year where there was decline, but Africa was going up. And now that the average age apparently of Africa is over the older age of 30, more mobile phones will come and there'll be more people and there'll be more money to made. So this is the forecast for the gaming industry. It's going to keep going higher regardless of any recession forecast or anything like that. In 2021 was the highest because of the lockdown year, because of the variants and the likes. So there was a decline last year globally in 1 point. So now, especially in 2025, it will be 206.4 billion. So there's so much potential in gaming. Now, the business model for Stellas Gaming is in-app purchases, advertisements, sponsorships, and subscription model. But it's innovative. Mine is innovative. Most of the games will target sponsorship and advertisement, targeted advertisement, not just go online and see how those different games. No, sponsorships and advertisements are going to be key parts. In-app purchases is good, and a subscription model where people like maybe forgo advertisement on the app. And mobile platforms. So, like I said, right now the capacity of the Stellas Gaming is only mobile. I prefer video games, but it's mobile. So I have it on Google Play and Apple Play Store. So as I said, the culture that sets us apart, what makes us different is small company with high potential for growth, inclusive approach for players of all ages. It's a global market, and also I'm targeting different ages, different countries, different backgrounds. And this is the team. We are just only 2 on the team. This is the product manager. He's one building the game right now, though there are so much hiccups. Because after I left finance in 2022 as a major source of income, I went to meet him and said, why don't you create a game? And then since that time, he has been, because he too has a major job, there's nothing much has been done. I expected the game to be out by March, but because of funding and so many other things, it's not out. So I'm very keen on what sets us apart, because I didn't put any on the slide competition, because obviously, as I said, gaming is going to keep going higher, and African gaming, culturally and even anything, is just there's not much competition. I think carry force in South Africa, but I look at their games and I don't see anything special about it. So we have to redefine gaming by producing quality games that are educationally friendly and deliver unprecedented fun with friends. What with Friends is one of the games that I really love, though I feel like I can do better than that, but What with Friends is one of the games that is core to the whole gaming that I'm about. So our games are inclusive, and they fill a massive gap in the gaming industry. The educational games, empowering gamers. We offer empowering games that impact players positively in real life and inspire change. We aim to produce unique and innovative games and sell them to a global market. So requests, I need funds to launch 3 mobile games. Though I'm also having a copy to registering the company. The lawyer that I actually had, there's a copy of the CAC. So I think it's angel funding I need to create and launch 3 mobile games in the next 2 years, establish a loyal user base, and we also plan to monetize through in-app purchases and ads. In the next 5 years, we expect to have experienced team that have a successful track record in the gaming industry with our innovative games, especially like the one that I'm creating right now. I'm projected ROI of 5x within 5 years. So the title of my book is going to be on Amazon tomorrow, is The Power of Gaming, Empowering Individuals and Inspiring Change. And the major quote is that the power of gaming should be to empower individuals and inspire change. Because when I was in university especially, I used to play a game called Football Manager, and looking back at it, though it took a lot of time, but I feel like it actually helped me a lot in terms of how I look at life. So thank you very much.
All right, so questions now. How many questions? 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Thanks for the presentation. My question is, within the Nigerian, gaming space, what would you say your competitive advantage is? What is your competitive advantage?
Okay. I just said it that we create innovative games, especially for the global markets. I'm not going to come here and say that I'm for Nigerian market or for African market or anything. We create innovative games. for example, now after researching for my book and everything like that, there are so many game ideas that I've come across that has come to mind. So it's about global markets and innovation, unique games. It's just unique. And I don't feel because I look at the top games on Google and everything, the reviews are not really good enough and everything. I feel like I can do better. And it's just that I really wish I had the game ready, but because of funding, it's not out. So it's unique, innovative games.
Do you know a game company in Nigeria?
Any game country? No, for example, number one is Waji. So the owner of Waji, I can't remember the game. The game, I just feel the game is not like the reviews are not good enough. So people will not like it will not scale. If for example, before I download the game, I check the reviews, and that's one of the reasons why I actually went into the gaming sector. I wanted to play a game. I was looking at the top games and I did not like it, and I go angry and I said like I can actually do better than this. So that's just the reviews are not good. It's just how it is.
Yeah, lovely presentation. I think my question is similar to the one I asked Eastplan. Why do you need money to build the first version of your product? So you said one of the reasons why you've not been able to roll out is funds, right? You said, there has been, the other guy is working full time, you said, so it's been a bit slow. So I'm going to ask you the question, then, I can offer some recommendation based on. So I'll just allow you to answer.
Everything has gotten expensive, and that's why I asked the man after he began the presentation that when you are creating an innovative game, and I'm of the opinion that many companies, despite the one I'm creating, I don't see any reason why a company will not look at it, and I think it's going to do well. I don't see any reason why a company will see the game do well and not attack it. So I want to make sure that when it comes out, it's actually it comes in good. Nobody's looking at it as, oh, this game is whack, the gameplay is not good enough. Especially when I was setting my book, I went to Steam, I see reviews. People want good games, but if it's not, like I said earlier, you can create educational games and you can create engaging games. There are so many educational games that people just don't buy because it's not engaging. It's not good enough. The whole point of game number one should be fun. Not that, oh, I create an educational game, I like it. If game comes out, I want the game to be sound. I want to look at the game and be proud of it. I tell you game, you can't, MVP, I don't think it works. It has to be good. People have to love it.
Yeah, so what I would recommend, and it might be right or wrong, as they say, is that for startups, right, I think one of the things that you have that is good for you is your equity. So you don't need money to build a game, right? If you can't build it, you get a co-founder that can build it. If your co-founder can't build it, you get a third person that will build it. Maybe someone that's worked in Activision, someone that's worked with. So for you to say that, yes, things are expensive, AWS hosting fees are insane. But for you to now say that you need money to build your first game, I think that's where equity comes in. So, founders love to hold equity, but you have to give it away. Give somebody 30% of the company, tell him to come and write code over 3 months and roll out your first version. So that has nothing to do with funds. In any industry.
Actually, that's one of the reasons why I'm here. But as I said, when I created the game, when I started off creating the game in October of last year, the guy promised me that it will be out by February. So I should keep working where I'm working and it will be out by February. But unfortunately, life happened, so nothing has happened. And that's why I'm here, because like, we are going to October, 1 year, no, why? I mean, it's taking too long.
Okay, so before we take the other questions, mine is feedback. It felt like you were in a hurry to get over with this. So you were rushing whatever you were saying.
Speak fast, sorry.
Okay, you speak fast, so you need to speak so that we can hear you. People are online watching, right? And you're speaking fast. I don't know what speed they're using for the video. So they need to hear you, and even those of us here, we also need to hear you. Before we go to the next question, please don't give anybody 30% of your company.
No, I'm not.
Even if it's your co-founder.
I'm a finance guy, so it's not.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So the reason I'm going to say this is, I think it was Netflix? I can't remember. But they needed to do something. I think it was either their lawyer, they needed to pay. And they offered the guy, I think about 1% or so of equity, right? And I think they were supposed to pay about $20,000 for his services. The guy didn't cash out the equity he was given until I think they IPO'd. And that $20,000 they were supposed to pay him, one of turned into, I think, over $100 million. Right? It's money that you could have had yourself, or they could have had themselves, but it went to that guy. They could have actually taken a loan.
Loan could have killed the business.
Yes, loan could have killed the business, but $20,000, $100 million. Like, the gap is it? It's actually it's an entirely different conversation, but I bring that up to say, don't just give equity away easily. So by the time you give 1%, 2%, 5% here, right, you've done so investors typically say don't give more than 20% at pre-seed. They know why they're saying it. Pre-seed, seed, Series A, Series B, how many percent? 60%. You're actually supposed to have equity for yourself. So maybe by the time you're about to IPO, right, you have very little equity for yourself. Yeah. And the reason it's important for you to have enough equity in your business is investors see it as skin in the game, that you not just run away, right? And the more equity you give out, they're like, this guy wants to cash out quickly. Yeah, there's a story making the rounds now, right? It's things like that. So it's good to give out equity to get what you want, but you should also know when you should consider other options.
The more you give out equity means you are not interested in the long term.
Okay. Thank you for the presentation. So, I think my first question is regarding the idea that the game, whatever. So, if I understand what you are trying to do, you are trying to build a gaming studio, right? Like a gaming, a studio like Activision or something like that. So, the idea that the game has to look super, super perfect. I've been playing some games recently, and I see ads for a lot of games, and some of them are just stick figures. Some of them are just like playing a chess board or anything. So maybe it's not a case of the game has to look good. Maybe it's the case of the type of game you are trying to. Are you trying to build an action game like COD? That you need good graphics, right?
That's a video game.
Yeah?
That's a video game.
That's a video game, right? So, but there are small. You said the MVP model does not work for game, and I don't think that's the case. There could be smaller, scaled down version of what you want to do that will make it interesting. So that's what I think. That's my opinion, right? Candy Crush, for instance, does not have. I don't think there's a lot of logic going on behind the scenes, but in terms of the visuals and the graphics you are seeing, you can't compare Candy Crush to Call of Duty or GTA. But Candy Crush is the second most popular game of all time, as simple as it is. So sometimes maybe it's a simple game you need to build.
I don't want to be a simple game.
Okay, nice one. But the first feedback, I think this is not just about your product, it's also about the pitching experience as well, right? So I'm imagining that this is a session with an investor that wants to give you money to work on this stuff. I don't know, but I think you should probably still work more on your pitch so that it's easily understandable, or you can communicate what it is that you want to build. Then secondly, I saw that your market size, you use like a top-down approach, quoting $1 billion in 2024, quoting the market size from different countries. And I was thinking, would it not have made more sense if you looked at it from a ground-up approach and not a top-down approach? What I mean is you are looking at which market am I trying to collect, right? How many people do I want to get from this business, and how much can one customer pay me, and try to multiply it for like a lifetime value, if it is over 2 years, over 5 years, over 3 years, whatever that would be, to arrive at your market size rather than just quoting, because it's more convenient, honestly, to quote what articles have said, but you might not know the context behind those articles, right? So sometimes, so that to also make sure that you yourself, you understand the market that you're actually going for, Like you're not just quoting random numbers, but you are actually you have a science or a logic behind why you are saying it's this number. I don't know that it gets.
The whole point of all these games are creating revenue is to have a hit game, and that's what I want to create. Hit games about hit games. If you have a hit game, your revenue will come because customers will come and advertisers will come. So that's what my whole pitch is about. My whole pitch is about. That's the stage we are as a company. We are trying to create an hit game. So it's not about I didn't come here with revenue and revenue. That was just the global market size. I'm saying this is where the global market is. This is where the gaming market is going. I didn't. Because if it's never a legal entity, the game is still struggling to get, and CSU are still having issues with it. So I'm not coming here saying nobody has onboarded. Yeah, I'm not saying it's game and people will come and then the advertisers will come. Funding for the game would be nice.
So, good. Hello. A few things. I would start with an apology. So forgive me if you had mentioned it and I didn't hear it. Just like he said, you need to work on your presentation. You were into yourself, you were talking about yourself, and you were not at any point, in my opinion, modulating your voice, to lay emphasis. It was basically like you were talking to yourself in front of your mirror. If you were doing that before investors, you could have the best products, but the messaging would probably not come out as well. So I think you need to work on that a bit. I also... but I don't know if it's a conversation or a debate. I would like to I don't know why you think that MVPs don't work for games. Who here played Sega 95 and all of those times? We all played EA Sports, right? What you have, if you were playing Sega then, you could put Roberto Carlos in front, right? As a striker, and you get to closer to the box, and you wipe X, you score, right? That's practically a bug. You could play with certain players from corner and you score straight up. I don't know why you think that MVPs don't work for games, because EA Sports that we play today is different, way better than what we used to play before. And I don't know why you hold on to that view, but I don't think it is correct, or rather I disagree with it. And another thing I kept on hearing you mentioning. And then, talking of that MVP, Candy Crush makes about $100 million every year with what basically looks so clean, so simple, and it's free to play till your lifetime. And yet people pay them to play. It's so very basic. It's the most MVP that you can get. And the interface, slightly changes over time, but not any major change. Again, games, MVP applies even to TVs. That's why you have 8K and 4K and all LED and all of that. So I don't know where you get that view from, but I respect it, but I disagree with it. And finally, you kept talking about innovative game. I didn't, there was no substance to it for me. If I was an investor trying to give you money, I don't have money, but if I was an investor trying to give you money, you kept on mentioning innovative game that has never been built, that has never been done. You didn't say what it was going to do, how it was going to do that. So I think you might need to put a little meat to that. I don't say come and give your idea away in public, even though I believe that people should share their ideas. So again, what is that innovative? My question now is, what is that innovative game that you're designing that the world has never seen?
Oh, I can't see it. I can't see it, obviously. But sorry. But one of the things I said earlier is that educational games are severely lacking, African cultural games are severely lacking, and there are so many opportunities in the gaming market. When you go to the Google Play stores, the first 5 games, first 3 games, because I actually checked it again to make sure that when I'm pitching, if I'm checking myself in a bit, the reviews are not 3.1, 3.4, 3.5. They're not good enough. When you check the reviews, people are saying scam, stuff like that. There's so much opportunities in gaming. I've seen it. I wrote a book about it, and it's just like it's not about innovating. Sometimes you just have to just import from America or even China, or import from anywhere and come and attack people. For example, okay, let me say it. Culturally, our games are severely lacking. It's true. A lot of countries sell their culture through games. And in Africa, we don't have that. So that's enough to even say innovative games can come from that. For example, when the Tech Africa's exhibition happened, I was around. I came as a guest going around. I think there was only one game tech startup I saw. So I was with the programmer, and I was telling him that I was very disappointed that October we started the game, and then we are here I think it was in May, and we are walking around. So in a way, it's his fault that I'm here without any game.
Okay.
I think that my question is this, yeah. He asked you a question like, what is this innovative game? You know, the first person that came out to pitch, we tell you what came out to say. He said Eastplan, and everybody was able to relate and ask him question.
Oh, yeah, yes.
See, why I'm asking this is because some of us are just here to learn. You understand? So I'm asking because he asked you, he said you cannot say what the game is. So I'm not asking because I want to learn. At what point will you be comfortable to share that innovative game?
When the game is out on rooftop.
So okay, so mine is not a question. Mine is not a question, yeah? It's just to boil down on what I think Nnamdi and some other people have told you about MVP for gaming. You can Google Flappy Bird. Flappy Bird was very simple UI, very simple UX. It broke the internet. Like nothing, there was really nothing about the game. It was just you trying to move a bird through obstacles. And it broke the internet. People were trying to beat high scores. I think some people got really high scores, but most people, the highest scores some people got was 6 points. And people played that game, and they broke to the extent that they had to remove the game from the Play Store. So I don't think MVPs don't work for games. I think you understand what I'm trying to say.
First of all, this is game. Okay, let me give it a bit out. It's a bit like Pinterest. It's a bit like Pinterest. It's actually built around getting advertisers to actually come. So it's not like what do you call it? It's not like Candy Crush or something like that. It's actually like, especially from a financial point of view, there's so much embedded in the game. Like when it comes out, you cannot just say, oh, it's a simple game that people enjoy and play. There's so much involved in it that it just cannot come out as a simple version. It's educational.
That was the first question that was on my mind. The second question he asked about what this innovative game is about, but it seems you've already given us you told us we'll know when you launch. My question is there a wait list for people to join this innovative game? Secondly, you said it's a cultural thing. Have you checked if people are really interested in playing a cultural, educative game? What's the assurance I will play your game, regardless of how wonderful it is?
No, this game is not cultural. I'm just trying to say that, for example, when you say that, okay, what's the substance behind saying you're coming to pitch? What's the substance behind your innovative game?
Educative.
I said culturally, it's very lacking in games. And I feel there are so many cultural games that can actually sell, that can actually do well. It doesn't have to be me. I'm just like, it can be anybody.
Okay, a follow-up question.
But it's something I can do.
To the cultural games that you think are around, do you really know how they generate revenue? And are they profitable? That's another question. Yes, those games are around.
So, the games you have right now. Is it mobile games or the whole industry? Okay, mobile games. I pointed it out now. In-app ads, loot boxes, microtransactions, but mostly you have to get volume at that, and Google will pay you or Apple pay you. So. Yeah, of course.
You currently don't have a market size. You don't have traction. You don't have any of those things, right? So for you to say that you will generate revenue from in-app ads, is when you have users, that's when you can run in-app ads. Because if you have 50 users on your application and you tell me I should give you, let's say you're gonna bill me, let's say 5 million, maybe per hard click or something like that. I don't know how you want to go about your model, right? But it has to be people. There have to be users already.
Yeah, yes.
So my point is, how would you get to the point of getting users on your game?
Well, users will come if it's a hit game.
Like, will it hit them? Because I'm trying to understand the scale. Okay, yes, but that's, I understand your model. So my second question, or my main question.
Sorry, can we reduce the...
Yes. So my main question is, who are you building for? Who are you building for? Because we have a lot of games that target different type of people.
Yeah, of course.
So your approach towards innovative game or inclusive games, whatever approach you want to go. So who's your target audience? What's your market size for those people, right?
Yeah.
Who are you bidding for?
Is it for this particular one or the company as in general? The Stellas game.
Okay, let's take a demo of one game that you have in the pipeline, right?
Okay,
who is the person you're bidding for?
Look, before I started the game, when I looked at it, it's 10 plus. It's targeted towards different set of people, different demographics, different backgrounds. It's just hard to say without this, but it's different. It captures as more people as I can. I told you that it's a global game, so it's not about African game or this thing. It's also across all ages. It's like this particular one. And if you have to talk about cultural games are played by different people, and there are just so many African cultural games. Almost no. No, but there are few like Sakoda. There are different ones. You could use an African. Well, our music. A lot of our musicians sing Yoruba and it goes global. So yeah, gaming can. Yeah. It's people are. I know there are different things.
So, but you cannot use the same metrics that you put towards entertainment instead of music towards gaming. You can't compare driving entertainment to the end goal, right? But there are two different approaches. Music is music, game is game.
They're all hats.
Okay, so I think, this is where we wrap it up for today. And so I want to believe that you took all the feedback, all the questions, because it's very important. So here's the thing here. You won't get anything if you're defensive about the responses that you get. Because, like you said, there's Carryfest. And Carryfest is big, whether you like it or not. There are people playing Carryfest games. I don't play them, but people are playing them. This year alone, this is, what month is this? This is August. There have been 3 acquisitions in the gaming industry. So what it tells you is that there are people playing those games that their companies have been acquired for, right? So that tells you that whether you are seeing 3.1 as a score on the Play Store or not, there's actually a significant market. Something that may interest you, for example, you didn't show that, but in the African market, for some reason, the gaming market in North Africa is significantly larger than what we have down here. So all the acquisitions I talked about, I think 2 out of the 3 are in North Africa. And then we have, I think, 1 here in West Africa. So how do you incorporate all of these? Another question I want to ask you, which you don't have to respond, is what do you want? Do you want cultural impact, or do you want to make money? The answer to that question will determine whether you stick with what you currently have, right? So that's it. So I think we've come to the end. But before we continue, yes, we are going to take a group picture. But first of all, for those of you online, thank you so much for staying with us. All the questions were acknowledged, your contributions. So I don't know if you saw the person that said he wants to help or volunteer. I don't know if the live chat will be on after. So you can check it out. And yes, thank you so much for those of you online and for everyone who was able to make it here. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's keep a date next month. Same time, same station, same venue. So with that, oh yes, the Modern Workplace Africa conference is coming up October 21st, right? So every one of you here, you either have a job, you are either an employee, about to become a founder, or you're jobless. You fall into one of these 5 categories, right? So what I'm saying in essence is that once you're here, you are the target audience for that event. And we are going to be discussing a whole lot of subjects. AI is about to take some of our jobs. What is there for you? Are you going to have to go back to your village? Do you become a mechanic? Do you become a musician? Even if you become a musician, you're threatened, right? So come for the Modern Workplace Africa conference. There's a website. You can just go, register. And if you're a startup and you want to exhibit as well, you can also come. Or you are thinking about ways you can partner, sponsorship, exhibitions, basically any kind of sponsorship, right? Or partnership. You can come. You can speak with, Abisola is not here. She was supposed to be here, but yeah, you can speak with anyone on the TechPoint Africa team for that. So once again, thank you all for coming. And you can come forward. Just drop your food.
TechPoint Africa is pleased to announce the Modern Workplace Africa Conference, taking place on the 21st of October 2023 at the Landmark Center. The event will feature workshops, panels, masterclasses, exhibitions, and a job fair. Expect insightful discussions around the gig economy, HR, talent, and all things workplace. You don't want to miss this groundbreaking event. Click the link in the description below to save yourself a spot and get more information about this event. TechPoint Africa is pleased to announce the Modern Workplace Africa